We here at Five9 Gaming Direct know that you're salivating for all the news on the hottest games coming throughout the rest of the year. Well, don't worry, we've got you covered. From the big sports titles, time-bending FPSs, and gorgeous adventure games, we've got a list of some of the biggest releases in gaming coming up right around the corner. I'm Christian, aka the PlatinumChin, and I'm going to take you through the biggest titles coming in September 2021. Fair warning, this list is absolutely stacked, so be prepared for your wallet to be hurting in the next 30 days. Before we start though, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can be one of the first to catch our new videos and stay up to date with all the biggest gaming news from all over the gaming world. And if you enjoy the video, make sure you slap that like button and let us know that we did good. All right, on with the show. First up on our list is Deathloop, an upcoming sci-fi action-adventure first-person shooter about a man named Cole who wakes up to find himself on the inscrutable island of Black Reef, where he quickly realizes that he's stuck in a time loop. Cole is tasked with taking out 8 targets in order to break the loop, and players will guide him by learning the routines of the island and of its inhabitants. Developed by Arkhice Studios, who also developed the Dishonored games and Prey, Deathloop will feature a combination of action, puzzle solving, and stealth as its core gameplay mechanics. Similar to something like The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, players will be able to replay sections in order to get through puzzle and action sections faster and faster as they progress. However, unlike Majora's Mask, Arkane promises that the enemies and allies that inhabit that island won't be just static. This will create dynamic encounters that will have variations every time you restart the loop. Combining that with a system that lets you gain new abilities, weapons, and upgrades with every loop, Deathloop is almost assuredly something that players will be able to sink loads of time into. Deathloop will also feature a multiplayer mode, where players can play as Juliana, an agent tasked with stopping Cole from breaking the loop. This player does this by invading another player's game in real time, letting you show off your skills against another owner of Deathloop. For fans of Arkane Studios' previous works, Deathloop is looking to be a day one buy, and you can grab it on Windows or PlayStation 5 on September 14th. Next up on our list is something for you Nintendo fans. WarioWare Get It Together is the 10th installment in the WarioWare series, and it's following the series' tradition of mini-game madness, tasking the player to complete a series of micro-games in order to release Wario and his pals from Wario's newest gaming console. WarioWare Get It Together is looking to feature a whole slew of characters with fun and unique abilities that make every game session just different enough so that you can replay them to your heart's content without just blasting through the games. Wario's jetpack, allowing him to fly, may make some of the games easier than they would be with the platform-centric character Cricket, and some minigames might be easiest with Mona because of her fully controllable boomerang that lets you precisely target objectives in the minigame that you're playing. With a variety of minigames that adapt to whichever character you happen to be playing at the time, the fun won't stop as you and up to one other friend attempt to overcome the games and free Wario and his pals from their digital prison. WarioWare Get It Together will be releasing on the Nintendo Switch on September 10th and currently has a demo that's available to play right now. Go try it out and see for yourself just how much fun this franchise can be. For all you basketball lovers out there, NBA 2K22 is coming, and it's coming strong. 2K is promising that stick skill will be paramount, and players will have to bring their best on the court this time around. Giving the players more control over the little nuances of the sport is something that makes a good sports title successful, so your knowledge of the game will be to your benefit here. If you're driving the lane or shooting a deep three, expect your control over the sticks to be the make or break element that decides if your team wins the finals or they go home and have to try again next time. Aside from basic gameplay improvements, 2K is also expanding the season system to be game-wide. So every 6 weeks, players will be granted access to a new season that will feature its own unique rewards, with rewards going all the way up to level 40. If you're a die-hard NBA 2K fan, it looks like you'll be able to play your way and earn some sweet swag for using My Team, My Career, or any other mode that you like to play either solo or against other players. NBA 2K22 is heading to all next-gen and last-gen consoles and PC on September 10th. Coming hot off the release of the phenomenal Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, Sony is presenting us with another last-gen title being upgraded for the owners of the PS5, Death Stranding Director's Cut. If you've played through Death Stranding already, you should get a kick out of the new racing mode, where Sam can ride his motorcycle around different tracks that can be created in the world by other players, expanding on the game's already groundbreaking interconnected world system. You'll also be able to use a cargo catapult to launch deliveries across large sections of the map, cutting down on some of the stress of making sure that you don't lose your balance on a particularly precarious cliffside. On top of that, there's a new buddy bot that will be available to players that will also help to take a load off if they choose to use it, making deliveries a lot simpler than before. New story missions will also be available, as well as new melee and ranged weaponry to allow Sam to take on his enemies in a variety of new ways, and also help combat flow even more smoothly than before. You can even test them out in the new firing range and compete against others for high scores on the leaderboards. And if you're really up for testing your skills and seeing where you rank, there will also be a feature that allows players to replay boss battles to compete for high scores as well. On top of all of that, the 4K 60 FPS graphical enhancements allow you to experience the game with the fluid animation that only 60 FPS can provide. Death Stranding Director's Cut will be released September 24th only on the PlayStation 5. There's been a lot of controversy surrounding Blizzard recently, and while we understand if you don't want to support them, we couldn't have a list of big upcoming games without including this remake of a genre-defining classic. Diablo 2 Resurrected is a faithful remaster of one of the big dogs in the action RPG landscape. Blizzard's development ethos during production was that Diablo 2 Resurrected should not feel any different than the original in its core gameplay. They even went as far as including a classic graphics mode so that fans of the original art style can opt out of the stunning 4K visuals and keep the feel of the game they fell in love with. You can play through the epic story, finding new gear for whichever character you choose that augment your abilities and empower your character to fight hordes of enemies, and attempting to prevent the return of the titular villain Diablo. Along with the classic story mode, players will have the ability to compete head-to-head in the game's infamous ladder system, a ranked mode that allows players to gain unique rewards that can be used in non-ladder competitive matches when a season ends. Considering that Diablo 2 is still popular to this day, many longtime players are looking forward to having their favorite game get a fresh coat of paint, while new players might find joy in playing through the story or going toe-to-toe with others in the ladder system so that they can return to non-ladder matches with some amazing new gear to decimate their competition. Diablo 2 Resurrected releases on all next-gen and last-gen consoles as well as on PC on September 23rd. We mentioned Majora's Mask earlier, but we can't talk about Kena Bridge of Spirits without talking about Ember Lab and their fantastic short film, Terrible Fate, that featured the origins of the Skull Kid and his discovery of the evil mask that almost led to Termina's demise. Since then, Ember Lab has been developing Kena, and it's clear that they have developed, too, their visual mastery even further. Kena is gorgeous, there's no two ways about it, and it's looking like it will be a fun adventure, taking Kena throughout several biomes that surround a village that met an unfortunate fate. Ember Labs has stated that there will be puzzles and combat challenges throughout the game that will be conquered by finding members of the Rot, an adorable race of fuzzy black creatures that will help Kena expand her abilities and find new paths throughout the environment. Think of the Koroks from Breath of the Wild if they became a living part of your character kit that you use to expand your hero. As a company that's clearly heavily inspired by the Legend of Zelda franchise, Kena is shaping up to be a new entry into the action-adventure genre that will surely dazzle players with its visuals and charm them with its characters. Kena will be releasing September 21st on PlayStation 5 and PC. The third mainline entry into the Life is Strange series. Life is Strange True Colors is a graphic adventure that succeeds Life is Strange 2. You'll play as Arkhice Chen, a young woman who is trying to find answers to her brother's death after a mysterious accident took him from her. Alex will do this using her empathy powers, which help her to determine what is troubling the townsfolk around Haven Springs, her hometown that her recently deceased brother convinced her to move back to. Her empathy powers can help her determine just how serious the trauma that they went through was, which can lead to major changes in the world and help to get Alex closer to the truth of what happened to her brother. Life is Strange True Colors promises to be an emotional journey for Alex and the player as they help her on her quest to get the answers that she needs. Life is Strange True Colors will be released for all next-gen and last-gen consoles, as well as PC and Google Stadia on September 10th. Finally, we couldn't go through a Games of September list without including Amazon's New World. New World brings some great feeling gameplay along with the option to engage in faction-based PvP as an endgame. Factions is a system that players can enter starting at level 10, where you fight in faction wars for territories in the world. Your territory control will be based on how much control of a region you have, which can be undermined by an enemy faction. However, if PvP isn't for you, you can still play New World like a traditional MMORPG, and you can take part in territory control by fighting in sieges against NPC monsters to assist your territory and make sure that your faction remains strong. The combat should be engaging to any type of player, as it isn't the traditional MMO-style combat you would find in games like World of Warcraft or RuneScape. Instead, New World has more visceral combat that involves connecting with enemy hitboxes and requires players to block and dodge enemy attacks instead of tanking them and relying purely on a defensive or healing stat to stay alive. This spin on combat has brought New World to the attention of a lot of players that don't enjoy the old school top-down style of something like, again, World of Warcraft, RuneScape, or even popular games like Knights of the Old Republic. Instead, opting for a system similar to an action-adventure game. All of the other MMO staples are here though. Crafting, tons of gear to find, guilds, housing, cosmetics, and even pets. The only thing New World won't have is a monthly subscription. So you can buy it once for as low as $40 for the standard edition and play it as much or as little as you like. New World has more hype than anything else on this list, and if you want to check it out yourself, there's an open beta from September 9th to September 12th. If you're already sold based on what you heard here, the game releases on September 28th exclusively to PC. So what games are you looking forward to the most? Did we forget anything that you are looking forward to in September? Do all these games look terrible, but you stayed this long because you love to support us regardless? Well, let us know in the comments down below. We always love to hear from you guys. I'm Christian, aka the PlatinumChin, here at 5-9 Gaming Direct, and this has been the top upcoming games for September 2021. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.